Hello, Big Al. William Longfellow is my name, and Pilotwings is my game. And I'll be doing the fourth lesson today. Now, Big Al here has a place in the Pilotwings mythos. The instruction manual says that while he keeps up the image of a tough guy, that some claim to have seen his tears. Well, that's what we're going for today, his tears. And, well, I wasn't able to get Lance's shocked expression, nor Shirley's, but I was able to get Tony's shocked expression, and Big Al's shocked expression is his tears. So there comes a little closure with the instruction manual. And, well, that's kind of actually what drew me into Pilotwings. I remembered it from my childhood, but I didn't remember much about the game itself, except I do, when I was 5 or 6, I read the instruction manual and noticed this little blurb about Big Al, and that was sort of the prize for me in the game, being able to see Big Al's tears. I think we'll be seeing them later if we don't see them in this episode, but the easiest way to do that is with the rocket belt exercise, which has another ring course, but the gimmick is that the rings move in rather simple ways. If you have decent aim, it should be no trouble at all. And landing is where I like to take a little bit more of my time. And there we go, right in the circle. We will be seeing Big Al's tears right here, flowing down his face all cartoon-like. Now, it's very good to get as many points as you can on the rocket belt course. In fact, it may be better to land on the moving platform and see if you can get up to 140, 150 points. And that way you have a lot of leeway on the 3 exercises that remain. Of these 3, I find the skydiving the hardest. Now, I did say in the last episode that the hang gliding is the one that always eluded me, but I've been practicing that a bit, and I think I've gotten a little bit better at that. The skydiving, though, is always tricky. I have to be very careful on spacing the parachute. And even on these rings, I can mess up sometimes. The rings tend to be the easier part, though, as long as, well, you don't go crazy on the movement there. I like to move forward and then move back as soon as I can. Just missed that one. I should be able to get the other rings here. There we go, just barely. Not as good as I had wanted. But you can't have everything. I release this a little bit early, and I really have to be quite careful on this level. I will not be going for the moving platform today unless I do so by accident. It is very, very tricky for me. And there we go. Actually, this should be a pretty decent landing. I was actually hoping I'd hit the circle there, but hitting anywhere is always a very good thing, in my opinion. My performance is passable, and with the points in the rocket belt and a decent skydiving score, I have a little leeway to mess up on the hang gliding and the light plane, which are the next hardest ones, I think. The hang gliding is actually, I've gotten a little bit more a hang, so to speak, of the controls in this one. So I actually find it about as easy as the light plane exercise. The light plane exercise is tricky for a plane exercise. This hang gliding one is easy for a hang gliding course. And I go right for this ring. The first time I like to hit the upper sort of half of it. And then go right for the thermal current. When I first played this game all the way through, the hang gliding courses were always the limiting factor. I would always get low points and have to make up for it with the rocket belt bonus score. I've gotten a bit better. And here we should be able to get through the ring, just barely there. And now it's time to land. I can't guarantee that we'll land on target here. But if we flare a little bit, there, we landed on the square that we're supposed to land on, which is pretty good, 70 or so points. 85 points. This is actually much better than I expected to do on either of these. We can actually be rather messy on the light plane course and still pass it. let's go. We won't be doing any gimmicks here. No flying off into the sunset. So we have to go through that arch that we saw there just a while back. So I turn just a bit to the right and then go to the left. Now, I like to stay at a pretty low altitude, but you have to be confident about your light plane skills to stay that low without, well, worrying that you're going to hit the water. Here we go through the arch. Jeez, I went a little bit high there, but I think we'll pass through. There we go. And now comes the tricky part, landing. Landing is actually quite hard here, and it's the main reason I actually find this maybe a teensy bit harder than the hang gliding course, where landing is, well, hard to guarantee, but at least I can do it. Now what I do here is I ride off into the distance and I look at the upper left radar to make sure that the red dot is just at the edge of the screen. I bank sharp to the right, make sure I don't hit the water. I do like to stay at a pretty low altitude. And then I see these dots which are meant to guide me, and I lower my speed just a bit. Because I don't want to be too fast. This runway is actually very short, and in some of the practice runs leading up to this one, I was going too fast and crashed off the edge of the island. Or at least overshot a little bit and got a rather crappy touched down message at the end, so yeah, 85. A rather bad angle, but at least we're on the runway. We're safe. We went through the arch, and we should get decent points for this. Awful close. Awful is an adjective, Big Al, please. Awfully. But anyways, a solid performance all around. Not sure I would call it magnificent, as Big Al said. But we do get our gold license, which I really should have predicted after the silver license that we got right before. And, well, what's after gold? Well, I don't know, but... Uh-oh. The evil syndicate. You know, you'd think that these syndicates, evil syndicate or the vile crime syndicate that Carmen Sandiego heads, are, you know, rather obviously criminal wording there. But anyways, we'll be doing that in the next episode. So I'll leave you here off this cliff. I'll see you around.